championship year, and we are just about ready to kick off.
Southern University did win the toss, and they will receive. It's a nice, cool night, not too warm.
Right.
Here in Tallahassee, Florida. And as we mentioned, these Rattler fans, they're just happy to see some football be played here in the capital city of Florida.
Absolutely.
On the return, here is Southern University running over a man. And they will get things going at the 40-yard line. That's where Southern University will begin. And coming out the gate will be their quarterback, Noah Biden. He looks to lead this offense as they move the ball from right to left on your television screen.
And as we said earlier, arm tackling is not going to get it done. And the reason that run was successful out into the 40, there was some arm tackling on the returner. It's just not going to bring down these Jaguars.
There's a look at Noah Biden. Transfer from Grambling State University. He's been in the SWAC for a number of years and, won the starting job, was replaced early in the season, but due to injury, he's back in the starting role, and we've already got a penalty.
The Rattlers are much improved on penalties this year. That has been a problem that has plagued the team over the last several years, so they have improved, averaging about 67 yards a game in penalties. But that one is on the Jaguars, which will make it 1st and 15.
Jaguars are penalized, and they will head backwards. Of course, that's not something that offensive coordinator Mark Retrix wants to see from his squad early on. So here's the handoff, and it goes to Rhymes. Rhymes may pick up one against that savvy defensive line of Florida A&M.
Yes, clogged up in the middle, nowhere to run. They wrapped him up. His helmet came off somewhere in there, so
that was James Ash coming up with the tackle, brings up a second down for the Jaguars. Just getting started here in Tallahassee, Florida. Primetime action in the SWAC. Here's the play fake. Biden will swing it over to his man, and it is caught. And he'll be near the first down marker for the Jaguars. That was number 87. That's Cam Jefferson, redshirt freshman from out of Shreveport, Louisiana.
Solid play to open things up. The Rattlers were actually reacting as if there was a handoff and then run pass option, and the quarterback pulled it and found an open receiver, and now they have 3rd and manageable at 2 yards.
3rd and short coming up for the Jaguars. Ball resting near the midfield stripe. Noah Biden in the shotgun. Going to hand it off, and Rhymes goes straight up the gut, and he is near that first down marker. And he may have picked up enough. Excuse me, that's Kobe Dillon, the other running back in that slew of running backs for Southern University. And it looks like they've got enough to move the chains. First down, Jaguars.
And that's what they do. Smash mouth football with these running backs right up off the left side, straight ahead, no tricks. First down.
Southern University with 2 wide receivers to the top. Here's a handoff once again to Kobe Dillon. And Kobe Dillon is into the defensive backfield, runs over a couple more Rattlers, and he'll move the chains once again for another Southern first down.
And Florida A&M is going to have to find a way. It's been an Achilles heel for the defense all year, running against the Rattlers. Anyone who has scouted them, they have 5 down linemen, but for some reason they have not been able to really stop the running game all year.
Of course, Southern University ran the ball 50 times last week against Alcorn. And remember, this is not a triple option offense in any way, shape, or form. So here's a play fake, and Biden will actually keep it on his own. He'll pick up a couple of yards to make it 2nd and manageable.
And even on a busted play or maybe a bad decision, maybe he should have handed it off, he still gained forward progress, picked up a couple yards. And in a game like this, every yard that you can gain is a positive for your team.
We talked to defensive coordinator Milton Patterson earlier in the week, and he knew that Southern was going to be a team that throws all sorts of schemes at them, especially when it comes to that power running attack. But, hey, they can sling it around, too. So here's Biden throwing it out, and looks like Turf Monster got the wide receiver right there. But the ball is complete to number 2 for Southern University. That is Tyler Kirkwood, young man from out of New Orleans, Louisiana, by way of Holy Cross.
Kirkwood just got crossed up a little bit as he tried to make his turn. But one thing he did was secure the football. So, often receivers will try to run before they have it.
3rd down coming up for the Southern Jaguars. They're in FAMU territory. Biden looking over to the sideline. Looks like they're going to change some things up. We've got a trip set to the near side of the field. Single back in the backfield. Here's Biden. And he is under pressure. He's going to try to run away. And then he'll just have to throw the ball away or bring up fourth down.
Damian Westmoreland came all the way across the field to chase him out. And now that will bring us to fourth down. Looks like the field goal unit is coming on the field. Jaguars will try to get on the scoreboard first with 11 minutes and 34 seconds here in the first quarter.
And give Biden some credit, too, because with his footwork, he could have easily went down slipping thanks to the turf monster, but he kept his feet. And by doing that, he was able to get out and throw the ball away, setting up fourth down. So we've got a 50-yard field goal attempt coming up for the Southern University Jaguars.
And they're going to have to get it off quick. 3 seconds remaining.
This is right around the range of Josh Griffin. Griffin's kick is up.
And it's good.
And it is good. 50-yard field goal, season long now. So Jaguars lead 3-0.
Receivers in the SWAT, as well as the best tight end. So I think the Rattlers should rely on Richardson's arm if they're going to win this game.
Florida A&M, led by Daniel Richardson offensively, will receive the kickoff following the field goal by Griffin and the Jaguars. As we take a look at some of the fans in the stands, as we mentioned earlier, look, they're happy to see the green and the orange back in action after hitting the road for so many weeks.
Yes, the last time FAMU and Southern played in Tallahassee in 2024, the game actually outdrew homecoming. It was a larger crowd.
And of course, this rivalry goes all the way back to the days of World War II. Here is the kickoff for Florida A&M, and not even making it to the 20-yard line.
And the Rattlers have to sustain a drive. They have to show that they can sustain a drive. Coach Henry has made a lot of adjustments, including with the offensive line, with some schemes. I expect the Rattlers to come out in some different formations today. After a loss, you've got to evaluate everything. Everything is on the table at that point after a loss. So as we see now, they come out with a 3 wide with Franklin at running back and also a fullback.
All right, here's Daniel Richardson calling for the ball. Here's a play action fake. Richardson got all the time in the world. He's going to air it out, and he's got a man down the field, and it is none other than number 2, Jamari Gossett. He's going to move the chains for the Rattlers.
All year, no one has been able to guard Gossett, and offensive line did an amazing job of giving Richardson all day, and when that happens, no one can guard Gossett for that long, and the result is a play almost to midfield.
25-yard gain on the play, first down for the Rattlers. Ball resting on their own 41-yard line. In the shotgun, it's Richardson once again. He's going to pump fake, and he's going to throw it deep. And, in and out of the hands of his wide receiver. This time, that was Ace Cobb. Cobb just took his eyes off of it and almost runs over a cheerleader coming back out.
Almost the exact same look as last week, the long touchdown at Jackson State. Ace Cobb, usually reliable hands, but that one is the one that got away.
Of course, as many folks will probably say, he's kicking himself at that one. Coach staff is going to tell him, hey, shake it off and make up on it on the next play. Second down and 10 coming up for the Rattlers. Richardson, third straight pass, and he'll throw it, and pass is complete.
Well, I think Joe Henry has changed up his strategy. The Rattlers are passing. They aren't running. The running game has not been effective this year. They're using short passes to supplement the run game and then throwing deep.
That pass is complete to the running back, Thad Franklin Jr. Here's another play-action pass, and he'll get it over to Gossett. Gossett breaks a tackle, and then he's inside the 40. First down yardage, well, close to the first down for Florida A&M. He's short by a few yards.
The stats will show that this is the Rattlers' most effective means of moving down the field. Utilizing their receivers, several different receivers. Gossett is the lead. Look at Daniel Richardson, offensive player. Defense, James Ash. Offensive impact player is DeQuan Kinsey Jr., Sr. And defense, Eamon Scarborough, senior safety.
And, of course, those are the impact players brought to you by GM. Here's Florida A&M really running the ball for the first time on this drive. And it looks like they'll have enough yardage for the first down. Thad Franklin.
Bail out of there, so that allowed a gap where Franklin was able to get the first down for the Rattlers, and they are driving. inside the 38-yard line.
Florida A&M using all sorts of motion here. Here's Daniel Richardson throwing it in the flats. He's got to complete once again the Franklin. Franklin tries to break a tackle. He'll pick up positive yards on first down to bring it up, making it second down.
Another thing we're seeing is a sped up offense. The Rattlers have been so often spent the whole clock, but they are going quickly.
The ball methodically down the field. Throw to set up the run, as Coach Cozy told us earlier in the week. And we got a penalty marker on the play.
Pass is complete to number 6, Kobe Gross.
It looks like there was a Rattler pleading with the ref. We don't know, but it looks like there's going to call something against the Rattlers, and they are facing the way.
After the play, personal foul. Late hit, number 63 on the offense. 15-yard penalty. Second down.
On the play, that'll be Ricky Taylor, 6'1", 275-pound offensive lineman from out of Miami, Florida, who we penalized on the play for a late hit.
15-yard penalty there.
And that's a drive killer. That's inexcusable. After the play is already over, to come in and just take a cheap shot, inexcusable. Inexcusable. Got a great drive going. You're inside on the plus side of the field, trying to get a score. You're behind by 3 points, and that kind of penalty is the kind of thing that will make you lose sleep at night.
And what we saw at the end of that video, Jamari Gossett kind of came over to him and basically said, like, hey, man, we can't do that, and let's not do that moving forward. And looks like we got some more whistles being blown.
Well, I don't see a flag, but I think the referees are going to adjust something because they came running in before the play, and there aren't any flags, so it's probably something they're going to have to do.
Down is third. Third down.
Right, Preston Clipper letting us know that it is third down. So far on this drive, Daniel Richardson, 4 of 5, 49 yards. There you see Coach Cozy looking on.
Jaguars defense choosing to go with 3 down linemen, 2 linebackers, and then spread the defensive backs out because of the passing attack. Rattlers are splitting out the tight end, so there are 4 receivers in space as well as the running back.
Trips to the top side of the field, single receiver to the bottom. Richardson doesn't look like he was ready for that. Snap. However, he is able to connect with his favorite target once again.
Is that a flag?
Yes, there's a flag on the play, so hold on. 27-yard completion, but let's see if it'll stand.
There is a flag on the play.
We do not have for roughing the passer. It was clean. First down.
No penalty on the play.
Flag, you can move.
So Florida A&M moving the chains, and once again, they are in Jaguar territory following the 27-yard completion from Richardson to Gassett.
Rattlers had a little over 75% in the red zone, 14 for 18 this year. So we'll see what FAMU does in this first quarter.
FAMU with 4 receivers to the top side of the field. Reminds me of the oop-de-oop formation from Varsity Blues back in the day. And now a timeout is being called by Florida A&M.
FAMU. First charge, timeout on the half.
Called on the Rattlers. First of the half.
Timeout on the field.
So you figure that's probably one of the timeouts they saw something, they just didn't like it.
Yeah, didn't like it. You don't want to waste this opportunity. You're in the red zone. You don't want to waste that opportunity. You've got to get a score. And speaking of that 4 receiver stack, there was also another HBCU great that brought that in here. Jerry Rice and Archie.
Absolutely. And also let's add to this, Willie Totten, who is now on that sideline for the Southern University Jags as the quarterback coach.
Yes, absolutely.
He was the gunslinger.
Yeah.
He wasn't called the gunslinger, but he was the guy that was putting off the trigger.
So he should know how to defend that, but actually nobody could defend them when they were doing it with Rice and Totten and Archie Cooler, the gunslinger. Great time in HBCU football, and it's just great to see this rivalry, FAMU and Southern University. The schools aren't that far apart, so they travel the crowds. There's plenty of Jaguars fans here. We're missing the human jukebox, and that's always a great part of it. But hey, we've got
the 100 is here, though.
The 100 is here. We don't know the dynamics of the bands all the time, but whenever there's a game, it's a festive atmosphere. And here at Bragg Memorial Stadium, Ken Riley Field, great group of students here. Also want to remind you that homecoming is next week, so sometimes that does have an effect on it. When you've got a week before homecoming and people have to decide to travel to Tallahassee 2 weeks. So the Rattlers will take on Texas Southern next week for homecoming. But right now, they're trying to get this score on Southern University.
First down and 10 for the Rattlers, changing up some formations once again. Here's Daniel Richardson. He's been consistent on this first drive for the Rattlers, and the handoff goes right up the middle. Thad Franklin, but he is hit. Ball is loose, and it's recovered by Southern University.
That is typical of this Florida A&M team.
The ruling on the field, the ball was fumbled and
The
recovered
offense
by Southern.
has had the most inopportune turnovers this season, and that is symbolic of the season that the Rattlers have had.
8 and 9. So up here with these gold numbers, I admit it's a little hard.
Very, very difficult to see.
Absolutely. Here comes second down for the Southern Jaguars. Back in the shotgun is Noah Biden once again.
Throwing out of his end zone. He's going deep.
And he's got a man, but just out of the reaches of his wide receiver. So third down will be coming up for the Jaguars. Intended wide receiver on that play.
And coaches are always nervous when the quarterback drops back in the end zone for the potential of a safety or a fumble, which can lead to a touchdown. But they were very confident on that. The Jaguar offensive line held very effectively, and they almost got it to the receiver.
Yes, Davion Brown had a step on him just out of the reaches in which he could make that catch. So third down coming up. Here's Biden. He's going to throw it and overthrows his man, and a dangerous pass right there. There were 3 Rattlers around that football and no Jaguars. So Jaguars will go 3 and out and forcing a punt.
FAMU safety Deco Wilson was the closest person to that ball. It was just a little over his head, but the Rattler defense holds and bails out the offense with that turnover down in the red zone. This could be great field position for the Rattlers. Even with a great punt, there is a great probability that the ball will be on the plus side of the field after this punt.
For the Rattlers, it's MrBlues.com, number 2. Gassing.
Jamori Gassett back deep for Florida A&M. Punt is off cleanly by Southern.
Kind of low, it should be returnable.
He's got some space. Here's Gassett. And Gassett slipped through some tackles, and he's at the 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Rattlers. 44 yards on the punt return for a touchdown, and Florida A&M has got a touchdown, and they take the lead over the Jaguars.
I can't see his jersey number, but the Rattler blocker, you see him throw his hands up and not block the man. He stayed in his way. I couldn't see the number, but that made the path for Gassett. It was a low punt. I knew that it was returnable as a specialist myself. And Gassett, as he says, he turned on the gas. He's always on the gas. Great way to respond to that drive that did not get completed the first time, to come back and punch it in, and the Rattlers are on the board, 6-3.
Justin Bostic was a young man that you were making a reference to, did not have a blindside block, but got in enough space to spring Gassett. Here's the extra point attempt. It is up, and it is good. Free over the Southern University Jaguars.
Gassett, not the normal punt returner, but Doc Holliday, former head coach at Arkansas Pine Bluff, is now the special teams coordinator at the Rattlers. Coach Willie Simmons brought him in, and they dialed up a great return on a low punt. It was returnable, and the Rattlers did not. So often on punts, almost every time there's a punt, you expect to see the yellow flag for holding. The Rattlers resisted the temptation, and Gassett was able to do the rest.
Here's the kickoff for the Rattlers into the hands of the Jaguars, and here's a good return right there. And on the return, that will be C.J. Russell bringing the ball out to near the 30-yard line. That's where Southern will begin. 1st and 10, moving from right to left on your television screen. So, Vaughn, after a punt return that results in a touchdown, what do you think Coach Graves told his squad on the sideline in between all that?
We've got to come back and do what we do best, which is run the ball and take back control of the momentum. The Rattlers lost momentum with the fumble inside the red zone, but took it right back after the defense went 3 and out, and the punt return team was able to punch it into the end zone. So Coach Graves says we need to get our momentum back with what we do, and I expect them to go back to the running game.
First down handoff for the Jaguars, and they keep it on the ground. And that is Kobe Dillon picking up a few yards to bring up second down.
I didn't know if we mentioned it yet, but we've got 2 first-year head coaches in this game, and that's kind of
Number 9,
unusual with Graves and
Henry.
Cosley both taking over the jobs of the teams
Picks up
this
3
year.
yards to set up second.
Of course, yes, Coach Graves' first year as the head man in Baton Rouge, but as they would say, he's got a lot of SWAC hours.
Yes.
Not only at Southern University, but also at Mississippi Valley State and also at Grambling State, where he was on the staff that helped them win the Celebration Bowl, the first for the SWAC a number of years ago.
And he's got some Bayou Classic hours as well. Well, he's been very successful in the Bayou Classic. You know,
Only
rivalry games like that, it doesn't matter what the records are.
Absolutely. Only head coach, well, only person to be a head coach to win on both sides. Here comes the third down scenario for Coach Graves, who you see right there on your television screen. Third down coming up for the Jaguars.
Be interesting to see whether the Jaguars pass or run. Their strength has been the run. Pass has not been effective today.
Noah Biden taking the snap. Under a little pressure, steps up and overthrows his man. Incomplete. Just out of the reaches of his tight end on that play. We'll take a look at that as Dupree Fuller, if he was about maybe 2 inches taller, he gets that grab. So fourth down now coming up for Southern University and a punting situation. And in this situation, Vaughn, do you cut to Jabari in this situation? Oh, wait, we're going to have a penalty.
So even if that was an offside, it does look like 6 yards. It might be inches or just less than a yard. If that is, well, you know, you can't tell because when the flag goes up, both teams start pointing up.
Outside. Defense.
But there were more Jaguars
Number
pointing to the
31.
Rattlers, which
5-yard
looks to
penalty.
be the case. It should be just
Still
short of
fourth down.
fourth down. Be interested to see if Graves takes the risk or keep, and the punter is remaining. They'll just punt from a little closer.
Against the Rattlers will be
That's
a
the
5-yard penalty. Still fourth down.
ball's on the 34-yard line, 1 yard to go.
Kenny Pham, the punter for Southern University.
We'll look to see if he gets more air under this punt. The last one was kind of low, which is why he does get more air under this one. Gassett is surrounded, and he'll call the fair catch.
So speaking of Gassett, of course, he has made a couple of plays early on.
Very shifty guy and great hands. He's always able to find open space, and when he gets the ball, he's hard to bring down from the first section.
They're getting into the red zone. They couldn't score on that offensive drive, but he took things into his own hands on special teams to take it to the house and put the Raptors up there.
The ball over and actually turn the momentum over to the Jaguars. Defense held, and the special teams, Doc Holliday's team, was able to get it back.
Also talking to Coach James Cozy this week, another thing he was happy about when it comes to playing at home was not just the fans, but also for the students as well. So you saw for sure that Gassett went straight over there and, you know, just hung out with the students as a swing pass is thrown over in the flats to Bo Somerset. He makes a man miss and picks up a couple of yards on the play to bring up second down. But yeah, as I mentioned, Vaughn, they talked about they wanted to definitely, you know, play this game for the students who come out here and cheer on their fellow classmates who are these student athletes. As we mentioned, we saw Gassett go over to the student section and be like, hey, here I am.
They feed off of the students here at Bragg Memorial Stadium, and the students help them because they harass the visiting team. Rattlers with just won a few runs today.
There's a little flip pass over there.
Positive yardage.
Goldie Lawrence is the recipient. And things get a little chippy, but quickly the coaches get in between the players.
It's Jaguars and Rattlers. It's always going to be chippy. They've been playing for so long. It's automatically going to be chippy, whether they're playing marbles, football, basketball, or whatever. Great rivalry. Two great universities. Today is the battle of the A&Ms. A lot of people do not know Southern's full name. Southern University and A&M College, and Florida A&M University.
Absolutely. Of course, you know, Southern University usually just goes by Southern, but you're absolutely correct with the A&M part. Here is a running play right up the middle. Bo Somerset once again. And we got a little bit more chipping in.
A lot of extracurriculars and a flag.
You were just talking about this, Vaughn.
And it looked like the official was looking at the Rattler. Even though he had backed away, maybe he told him to stop talking and he continued to talk. But this is the kind of thing that drives coaches berserk. Absolutely unnecessary penalty. Coach Colsey has emphasized that penalties within normal play he doesn't like, but he can deal with. That was an absolutely unnecessary penalty. If
After
it's
the play is
against,
over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 71 on the offense. That is first unsportsmanlike toward disqualification. Fourth down.
They'll get number 71. That is Ashton Grable.
all SWAC offensive lineman, very experienced guy who should absolutely know better.
A transfer from Jacksonville State University. 315 pounds is what they list him as. As my friend Santorio Black would say, he may be a few biscuits short of 330. But due to that situation, now Florida A&M is forced to punt.
Yes, and the Rattlers will rely on Gunnar Trout to get it out of there. Nice angled punt to the sideline. No chance of a return, and Doc Gamble's punt team gets done what they need to get done. Great angle punt.
Ball goes out of bounds around the 31-yard line. The punt was 42 yards. And there's Coach James Cozy III.
And I'm sure he's not happy at all.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You could tell that he's sharing some wonderful words with some of the officials, but still keeping his distance in that situation.
Because the appearance was that it was a verbal foul. The play was over. Grable may have continued to talk and said something that the official threw a 15-yard penalty on. That will drive a coach crazy, but Grable has to know better.
First down and 10 for Southern University. Noah Biden bringing back the offense. He's got trips to the top side of the field, and he's going to hand it off. Running back on that play is Kendrick Rhymes, and still a little bit more chippiness between the guys who play in the trenches, the offensive line and the defensive line. Even Kendrick Rhymes looks at his offensive lineman and says, hey, man, you good? Is your head level in this situation? In the meantime, Rhymes did pick up 3 yards and will bring up second down and 7. Here's Rhymes once again, and they're just running the ball straight at that defensive line of Florida A&M. Positive yardage are yielded once again for Southern University. Bring up 3rd and short, Vaughn.
And the extracurriculars continue. Both teams are pointing, taunting. At some point, we hope it doesn't erupt and gets under control. Jaguars trying to get a first down. Got about 3 yards to go.
Southern continues to run the ball well. One of the best rushing offenses in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. And the thing about Rhymes is that, you know, he will keep power running it, and then he has the ability to break it away. So here's a quick pop pass, but it falls short of the receiver on that one. Not enough mustard on that play by Noah Biden. He tried to get it over to his wide receiver in the flats.
He tried to guide it in there as opposed to just letting it loose, and it dropped short on the ground. He wasn't able to grab it in, and Jaguars will punt again with 1 minute 49 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. The Rattlers with a 7-3 lead.
Jermaine Minor Jr. was the intended wide receiver. If he does make this catch, I think he does have enough open space to pick up a first down. Instead, now Noah Biden has missed on his last 5 pass attempts. Punting situation now for Southern University.
That's a high punt, short. He'll have to get fair catch. Almost interfered with. He's got to have the opportunity to catch the ball, but Gassick corrals it around the 26, 27-yard line. 26 it looks like it's going to be. And Daniel Richardson will bring out the offense to try to see if they can sustain another drive. 1 minute 41 seconds remaining in the quarter. The Rattlers are going to try to extend their lead. And, of course, the Jaguars will try to defend them. As we see, Coach Joe Henry, the offensive coordinator, has severely altered the offense.
Yes, he absolutely has. Before we talk about that real quick, Penny Fam, 36-yard punt on that last play. But, yes, Coach Henry has switched some things up on the offensive line.
And now Junior Muratovic checks in at quarterback. The backup quarterback, Junior Muratovic, number 7, is in at quarterback.
And he mishandles the snap. However, he is able to get it over to Somerset, and Somerset running through the Jaguar defense, and he is close to the first down marker.
Muratovic has not had much action this year, and he was able to corral that snap. But we talked about Joe Henry switching up the offense, seeing Junior Muratovic in for Daniel Richardson.
So it's not just the offensive line.
It's not just the offensive line. It's not just the sets with the 4 receivers. they have another quarterback in.
So in that quarterback, Junior Maritovic, this time he corrals the snap, throws it quickly out. The ball is caught by his man. A short gain on the play. Picking up a few yards is Marquez Bell.
Pass is complete to number 4, Marquez Bell.
And as you see the replay, Muratovic just drops back, spots his receiver, and puts the ball right on the money.
Number 21 on the tackle.
And the Rattlers will keep going in a hurry-up, semi-hurry-up offense, not really rushing, but not taking the time that they usually take between plays. And Muratovic wants to continue this drive.
So here's Junior Maritovic in the backfield. Oh, he hands it off, and he is to his man Somerset, and Somerset is met in the backfield for a loss by the one, the only Kelby Gibbons, the SWAC preseason defensive player of the year.
Kelby almost took that handoff.
he was back there quick.
He almost took that handoff. What pursuit on that play? There wasn't a mishandling. He just made his way through the offensive line, and as we count down the seconds, we'll see if the Rattlers will take a play before the end of the quarter, and it looks like they won't.
I'm pretty sure you have made the Rattler Nation proud. Let's get back to the action here. 3rd down and 10. Here's a deep pass, and it is broken up at the last minute by Southern University's Xavier Spencer. 3 against 3 right there, because on the other side, it was Jalen Ward who was the intended wide receiver.
Yeah, Ward's got to bring that ball in. I mean, it's just simple as that. If a ball hits your hands like that, you have got to reel that ball in. And which brings the Rattlers back in punting situation. It's a promising drive the way it started out, and it filled out, and it is 4th down.
And the punt is got off cleanly. However, there was a little contact in the backfield.
There is a flag.
There's a flag on the play.
Will be interesting to see whether it's running into or roughing. And it looks like it's going to be the running into variety.
38-yard punt on the play.
We'll see if the Rattlers, if it's running into, we'll see if the Rattlers decide to take another swipe at the punt.
Preston Clipper getting a lot of work in today.
Running into the kicker. Under 13.
And Colsey decides to take the field position because a great punt, no return on it. And the Rattlers will rely on their defense. If it was roughing the kicker, that's a different thing. That's automatic first down. So running into the kicker only gets you 5 yards closer. It was a great punt with great hang time with no return. So at this point, you feel your defense can sustain their field position down at the 25-yard line. Like
of course, Coach Terrence Graves, Coach James Coles in the third. Pair of all-conference defensive backs back in the day.
Yep.
So they're matching wits from a defensive side of the ball. Now, in Southern's last 3 possessions, they have gone 3 and out. Look to change that on this drive right here.
Well, the Rattlers have done their best job of containing the first down, and here they are giving up a big run. They kept the Jaguars behind the chains. That has been what has been the success of the Rattlers on that first down, but a big run.
Number 5,
C.J. Russell with the 8-yard gain on the play brings up 2nd down for the Jaguars.
And I assume the Jaguars will stay on the ground here with that big run.
They'll hand it off once again to C.J. Russell, and he'll have just enough for a first down. You talk about a shoestring tackle that was made by Florida A&M's Jamil Sanders on that one. If he does not make that tackle, Russell is off to the races.
Off to the races, absolutely. And you can see his frustration, that just that shoestring, it was just enough to trip him up, but he did get the first down at 36-yard line.
Here's Noah Biden back in the shotgun once again. He'll pull it, and he'll complete the pass over in the flats, and he'll pick up about 8 yards on the play.
For the Rattlers, that was number 3, Kendall Bowler, all-SWAC defensive back who has already been invited to the HBCU Senior Football Classic. And there are several scouts watching Bowler.
Here's
Jaguars.
another handoff right now for the Jaguars. Up the gut once again looks to be C.J. Russell, and I think he's got just enough yards for a first down. Yep, they're going to move those chains.
Number 5.
It looked like the Jaguars have found their groove with their running
Picking
game.
up enough to move the chains once again.
So once again, Southern doing similar situation, put it in similar situations like they were last week at Alcorn. They're finding positive yards in the rushing attack and challenging Florida A&M to stop their rushing attack. Here's Russell right here, and really nothing doing. Maybe a loss of one right there against that interior defensive line for Florida A&M, led by big number 99 number 99 Clyde Pender, 6'1", 295 from out of Tampa, Florida. We got 299s. I should have figured that the one that's a little bit bigger is playing on the defense.
Always. And as the rule goes this year, referee stands over the ball if the offense makes a change to allow the defense to match wits. 10 seconds remaining.
Second down, we'll call it 11. Here's Biden throwing it. Pass is complete in the flats. Receiver picks up about 4 yards on the play. Third down coming up for Southern University there near the midfield stripe. On the play, making a tackle for Florida A&M this time was Deco Wilson.
Number 9,
another transfer from Jacksonville State.
And so it'll be third and about 7 yards to go. Be interested to see if Jackson goes to the pass or stays with the run game, and they will drop back.
Here's Biden dropping back, and his pass falls incomplete, but it could have been intercepted right there by Corey Collier Jr.
Very, very errant pass. The receiver had actually crossed the defensive back and was heading on. If he had led him with the pass, there were green pastures there, but that ball was clearly behind him, and if you're at that speed, you can't turn around. So the Rattler defense holds fourth down. Jaguars want to see if they can pin them down deep in their own territory.
Jamar Gatson back deep for the Rattlers.
Jamar Gatson back deep for the Rattlers. Rattlers come after it. However, the punt is gotten off cleanly, and it will go out of bounds in confidence after, playing well against Jackson State. But, of course, we know what happened as far as the game-changing play last week against the Tigers. And he said, yeah, man, it was fine. But at the same time, these are the conversations they have each and every week because they have to have everybody's mindset right each and every time. Here's Richardson stepping up in the pocket, and the ball falls incomplete. Third down coming up now for Florida A&M. Intended wide receiver on that one was Carter Johnson, the transfer from Pittsburgh.
Well, that's no fault of Richardson. He zipped that ball right in there. Carter Johnson has to hold on to that ball. It was a great throw and was just not taken down to the ground. And now the Rattlers find themselves at 3rd and 10 and behind the chains.
Coming into this game, Richardson had over 1,400 yards and 12 passing touchdowns, averaging about 238 through the air per game. Third down and 10 for the Rattlers. Richardson will set up the screen. He gets over to Dean, and Dean will pick up enough yardage to move the chains. First down for.
And that is the best way to use Kelvin Dean Jr. As you see, he comes out of the backfield, gets past the first level, and then gets the ball in open space. That is when Kelvin Dean Jr. is most effective. The Celebration Bowl 2022 offensive MVP.
Of course, Kelvin Dean really seeing his first part of action in this game tonight, right now, during this drive. We had seen a lot from Somerset. Of course, we had seen a lot from Thad Franklin Jr. Here's Richardson rolling out. He's got a man wide open in the flats, and it is caught. This time by Marquez Bell, and Marquez Bell appears to have enough for a first down, and they're going to move those chains once again.
Sometimes coaches cringe when a running back runs backward, but he was able to get just enough to get the first down. But more often than not, a coach does not like to see a receiver run backwards, but he was able to be successful and get the first down for the Rattlers.
I stand corrected. He got 9.5 yards on that play. See, the back guy from the chain was moving, so I'm thinking they're, changing the entire down markers on that situation. But on the next play right here is Richardson overthrowing his man on that one as Goldie Lawrence. It was just out of his reach.
And Richardson is lucky, and he is fortunate that ball, there were 2 Southern defenders right there where that ball was. Fortunately, it was too high for all of them. But that was an ill-advised pass. Would have been better to throw that one out of bounds. Rattlers facing 3rd and 1, and we'll see what FAMU dials up at this moment.
Very important third down once again coming up for Florida A&M. We saw them convert 1 third down already on this drive. Can they do it a second time? Richardson throws it right there in the flats, and it's going to be very, very close following the catch right there made by Carter Johnson. Johnson was upended by another Johnson, Horatio Johnson of Southern University, and it looks like he is short.
And Miles is a load. It's a long way to run around Miles, and very agile to get out on the flank and stop that tight end. So it looks like they may be doing a measurement, or Coach Cosley's calling for a measurement, but they signal 4th down.
They have signaled 4th down, so Coach Cosley and Coach Henry, they've got to make a decision. Keep the offense out there or punt the ball away to Southern University.
They have moved it closer. It's literally inches now. 4th down marker is literally 4 inches away from that 1st down marker. So we'll see what Joe Henry dials up here on this 4th and inches.
The offense is still remaining on the field. Appears to be a lot of confusion. Even Richardson's throwing up his hands.
And 5 seconds remaining. They're either going to have to call timeout or take the delay of game penalty.
And they're going to call the timeout. Has sputtered at certain times. They found some success with the rushing attack, but then when they get in those key pressure moments, it seems like FAMU's defense has been able to step up to a next level to force them to punt.
Both of these offenses have sputtered since the first quarter.
So in the shotgun, here's Noah Botten. He's going to hand it off. Another powerful run right up the gut by Kobe Dillon. Dillon will pick up about 3 yards on the play, bringing up 2nd down.
Good positive run, which is the strength of the Jaguars, right up the gut of the FAMU defense. Still playing with 4 down linemen.
Number 9.
They see Coach Everett Todd.
To number 0, James.
Earlier this season, we saw the Rattlers switch to a 5-man defensive front to make sure they stopped the run, but they could choose to stay in a 4-man front.
Here's Biden, the quick pass, and the pass is caught. Receiver wouldn't go down after a couple of defenders trying to get on him. However, on that play, it was Darren Morris, young man from Baton Rouge by way of Southern Lab, which is literally on the backside of the Southern University campus. So he's always been known about the Jaguars for a number of years. He picks up solid yardage, brings up 3rd and short.
FAMU has another great Southern Lab Hall of Famer in Howard Huckabee.
3rd down. Jaguars are 1 of 6 today on 3rd down, and here's a broken play, and Noah Bond is taken down for a huge loss by the FAMU defense. Leading the way is number 23, Allen Smith Jr.
And give credit to FAMU defensive coordinator Milton Patterson. He prepared them, and they had a middle rush, and that play did not fool the Rattler defense. And a great 3-and-out for the Rattlers, forcing Jaguars to punt once again. Gassett is back. Hopefully.
4th down and another punting situation coming up for the Jaguars. And we got another penalty going.
Is that 5 yards? It's going to be really close.
Really, really
That's
close.
That's going to be if it's not 1st down, it's going to be millimeters away. 5 yards.
Offside. Defense, number 26. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Okay, still 4th down. It's behind the sticks.
Look,
because
if you're Terrence Graves, though, do you ask them to do a measure in this situation?
Results of the
because
play
of how close it is?
Down. Southern.
And the referees just reversed it. It is indeed a 1st down.
All right, for Florida A&M, that's their 4th penalty, and they got 4 penalties for 40 yards already in the first half.
And that's 2 penalties that are on 4th down. There is something that the Jaguars are doing that is drawing the punt team off sides. That is 2 critical errors on 4th down. And the penalties that the Rattlers have made today have been at critical junctures in the game. Defense has just stopped them, and now on special teams there.
So Southern University continues with their offense attack. Hands off to Kobe Dillon. Dillon goes up the middle, picks up about 5 yards on the play. 2nd down coming up for Dillon and the Jaguars.
Number 9, Kobe Dillon on the carry. Tackle made by number 27.
It's just exhausting if you're Milton Patterson and you've dialed up the great defense, and on special teams, Doc Gamble has to get that corrected.
So Dillon once again following his blocks off tackle. maybe a gain of about 2 yards on the play. Third down coming up for the Jaguars.
Let's see if the Jaguars stick with the run, which has been effective for them. The pass has not been effective today, basically due to the inaccuracy coming off of the hand of the quarterback. We'll see if the Jaguars stick with the strength of their offense, which is the running game.
Kobe Dillon, that was his 8th carry for 33 yards. Here's Biden with motion, stepping back to pass, throwing, and the pass is caught. Southern will get a first down following the completion over to his wideout.
And they're going to mark progress at the 49-yard line.
And that's Darren Morris helping Southern pick up a first down to move those chains.
Nice pass out of the backfield, coming all the way across the field, dragging right under the safeties, and to get that first down.
So the Southern passing attack has not been great this evening, but it comes up solid on when they need it. Here's another handoff up the middle, and moving the chains possibly is Kendrick Rhymes on the play. He's getting very, very close to that spot.
And ref is signaling for the first down.
First down run by Kendrick Rhymes on the play. Let's take another look at it, Vaughn.
Great, right up the gut. That is the strength of Southern University, running between the tackles. And they're going deep.
Biden is going deep and overthrow this man. It'll be intercepted in the end zone. And running it back out for Florida A&M. And they've got a convoy.
And what a big game-changing play.
Herman Brister right there with the
blockers, a great convoy down the field.
Biden is 6 for 13 for only 41 yards and an interception. On the other side, here's Richardson, and he's going to be corralled down in the backfield. Call that a sack right there by big number 93. That is Willie Miles, 350-pound defensive tackle from Scotlandville.
And that loss.
Loss of 5 yards on the play.
Loss of 5 yards as the Rattlers try to go for the home run ball, and you got to wonder if that was not, in some areas, called a horse collar tackle. We don't know. It was not called.
I'll say this: the tackle was made high, but that's only from what I saw from up here.
We're not questioning the officials.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Nonetheless, the Rattlers are behind the sticks for second down.
Second down and long for Florida A&M. Richardson is going to dump it off across the middle, and the pass is caught this time by Marquez Bell. Bell will get it back close to the original line of scrimmage.
Back to a manageable distance for a third down. Third and about 8.
Richardson now 12 of 16 on the day. Third down will call this about 8 for the Rattlers. They're in Southern University territory following that interception.
And we have to wonder if this is 4-down territory for the Rattlers. Defense has been able to hold the Jaguars.
Under 4 minutes to go in the half. Florida A&M on top 7-3. An offensive touchdown has not been scored in this game as of yet. It's been all special teams. Here is Gassett on the wide receiver screen, and he will be short of the first down marker. It'll be fourth down. We'll call it about 2. Ball resting about the 32-yard line.
And the Rattlers are going for it. Cameron Gillis, the all-SWAC kicker, has not checked in. The Rattlers will go for this on 4th and about 3. Or the 4th and a long 2.
So the offense will remain on the field. Richardson stepping back, still in the shotgun. Gassett going in motion. And they'll hand it off, and the Jaguars were not fooled on that one. Tackle for loss. Jaguars defense making a crucial stop late in the second quarter, led by Derek Williams, 230-pound linebacker from Miami Central High School.
And you have to wonder for the Rattlers. The running game has been the Achilles heel of the team all season. I was expecting a short pass from the Rattlers, right behind the linebackers, right behind the line. But in effect, the running game, which has not been effective all year. We have not scored. We have not seen a running touchdown
game
score
clock
this year.
operator, please reset the game clock to 2 minutes, 54 seconds. 2,
As they
5,
reset the
4.
game clock to 2:54, Jaguars are in prime position because Not only do they have more time on the clock, they're going to get the 2-minute timeout. And we'll see what the Jaguars can do and possibly take momentum into halftime.
Southern University with all 3 timeouts remaining as they get the ball following that 4th down stop. And they're going to go back to their bread and butter. Smash mouth football continue to work for Southern on that play. A run by number 8. That is,
Number 9, Kobe Dillon.
number 9, Kobe Dillon, who on that play right there, he took a big lick and just kept moving forward.
And a dive right up the middle. As we said in pregame, you cannot stop the Southern running backs with arm tackling. You're going to have to put a lick on them, and you're going to have to wrap up. 5-yard gain.
Correction on the play, that was C.J. Russell with the rushing attempt. Here we go once again. Southern moving the ball methodically down the field. C.J. Russell once again. He's got enough yardage for a 1st down.
And either that's going to take us to the 2-minute warning or Southern, and they will not rush to get a play. And it will take us to the 2-minute warning.
Well, here's the thing. In college football, it's called the 2-minute timeout.
2-minute timeout. My apologies.
You're good.
2-minute timeout.
You're good. There are
So you
so
said
many.
you said they had 3. They have 4 with dogs during halftime.
No, sir. Not at all. Back to the action now. It's C.J. Russell getting the handoff, going off left side, breaking a few tackles and picks up solid yardage for the Jaguars on 1st down.
And even after contact, he was able to muster 3 additional yards by doing a spin and leaning forward. Running backs are really strong and really knowledgeable about what they're doing for Southern University.
And like we were having the issues of kind of figuring out who is 6, 8, and 9, I think the PA is also doing that because they've called Russell Kobe Dillon his name at least 3 or 4 times now. Back to the rushing attack once again up the middle for Southern University. This time it is Kobe Dillon.
It's Kobe Dillon.
Kobe Dillon, who actually played quarterback in high school and was converted to a running back. One of his first games in action against Arkansas Pine Bluff breaks the school rushing record. And they've been high on him ever since.
And Southern, with the rushing attack, is going to try to grind this thing down, pulls it out for a pass, out in the flat. That won't get much yardage, but it will run down some of the time off of the clock.
Dangerous pass thrown, and it is caught over there by Dupree Filler.
Behind the line of scrimmage, it appears
Timeout.
like it'll be a loss of about 1.
First charge, timeout of the half.
Given back
Be
to
at
the
30
line of
seconds.
scrimmage.
Jamil Sanders coming up with the tackle on that play.
But not a positive gain for the Jaguars, who are trying to put some more scores, put some more points on the board before halftime.
Of course, if you're just joining us, Southern University scored via a 50-yard field goal by Griffin. And then the next points came by special teams. Jamari Gassett ran back a punt return, 44 yards for a score. And that's the only scoring we've had in all via special teams here inside of Bragg Memorial Stadium in Tallahassee, Florida.
And for the Rattlers, we've seen a switch up on their
Please
offense
put
with their
54
backup
seconds
quarterback,
on the
Junior
game clock.
Miratovic. Seeing action,
you.
Daniel Richardson is back in. And I guess the key will be to see if Richardson can regain the momentum.
2nd and out and 10 for the Jaguars. Ball resting on the 36-yard line of Florida A&M. Noah Biden, 2 receivers to the top, 2 receivers to the near side. And he's going to hand it off once again. Kobe Dillon fighting forward.
The positives of the running game are that it controls the clock. The negatives of the running game is if you're trying to run a 2-minute offense, after every play, there are several seconds, precious seconds that tick off the clock from a running play that stays in bounds.
Approaching the 30-second mark in the first half. Here's Noah Biden stepping back to pass. Quick throw over to the sideline, and it is caught by his wide receiver once again. That is Darren Morris, and Morris is going to be able to get out of bounds. Not enough yards for a first down, so
24 seconds remaining in the half. 4th down.
Morris kind of looking
Timeout on
around
the
like,
field
I thought
for
I
an injured
picked
player.
up more yards.
Correction, that's an injured player timeout.
Yes, sir. On the field right now, that looks to be Jamil Sanders. Now, Vaughn, I never ever get into the guessing game of injuries and whatnot, but it is a little warm out there, so maybe a cramp.
Possibly. And the question now at fourth down, is this within Joshua Griffin's range, the place kicker for the Jaguars, or will they try to run and get closer? And they still have timeouts remaining. He's hit a 50-yarder earlier, so this does look within his range. See whether the Jaguars go ahead and try to get this field goal, or will they try to get it closer or take a shot at the end zone?
So
It is
many
fourth
options.
down. Yeah, there it is. It is fourth down. So we'll see what Terrence Graves and the Jaguar coaching staff dials up. On the
Jo-
Rattler side, twice today on fourth down in punting formation, the punt return team has jumped off sides. Critical errors on fourth down. This will be the defense.
Jamil Sanders was able to get up and walk off on his own power, so that's a good thing for
And it
the
does
Rattler defense.
and it does look like the field goal unit is on the field. Jaguars will try to pull within one. The Rattlers leading 7-3. 24 seconds remaining here in the first half. Ken Riley Field at Bragg Memorial Stadium.
Josh Griffin on attempt a 45-yard field goal. He hit a 50-yarder earlier in the game. The only points for Southern University. Here's his kick. It is up, and it is no good. Wide left.
The Rattlers will apparently escape with a 4-point lead. But typical of the team this year, so many times the team has jumped out, taken a lead, and kind of went stagnant. Against Jackson State, they scored 21 points in the first half and did not score again, and it came back to bite them. Coach Colsey and the Rattlers have to find a way to put more points on the board and keep the potent running game of Southern Jaguars. What a great running attack Southern Jaguars have. The only time they've gotten in trouble is when they've gone to the passing game, the interception in the end zone, which was run back. So it's a matching of wits will happen at halftime. We'll see what Graves comes back with. We'll see what Colsey. It's a matter of seeing which team can play back to their identity and get this win in the last 30 minutes.
And, of course, we're taking a look at Coach Terrence Graves. I'm pretty sure he had some very strong words to share with his football team in the locker room as, of course, you want to make the adjustments. Here is the second half kickoff. It is hauled in by Florida A&M, and here is a great return by the Rattlers out to the 30-yard line. Was number 85 for Florida A&M. 26-yard return by Robert Lockhart for Florida A&M. So Daniel Richardson is going to lead his team back out onto the field.
And we'll see if they remain with their identity of passing. Continue to pass. Richardson can pick apart a defense, and he has shown that earlier in the game. We'll see if that can maintain and see if the Jaguars will stay on the ground.
Here's Richardson on first down in the play action, and he's going to throw it, and he threads the needle, and the ball is caught.
Jeremiah Pruitt.
Jeremiah Pruitt coming up with the great grab on the sideline. We got to take a look at this once again. Threading the needle, Pruitt also keeps his feet inbounds, picks up a 13-yard gain on the play, first down for Florida A&M.
Pruitt, a big player for the Rattlers, and Jeremy Musa, good to see him get back in the game.
Rattler offense once again with first down. Here's the handoff up the middle. Looks to be Somerset on the play. Maybe a game of about 3 on the play, second down now coming up for the Rattlers. And we've got whistles and officials calling for a timeout.
Number 11. 5-yard penalty.
Ill-advised
Still first
penalty,
down.
offsides on the defense. That'll give the Rattlers basically a free play then, where they only gain 2 yards. Now they get 5 yards, first and 5.
They call that offsides penalty on Deco Wilson.
Nope. It was a Jaguar. Deco's on FAMU 11.
You are correct. Darius Harry, other 11. Here's Daniel Richardson rolling out, looking for a man, and he's just going to throw it away. And there may have been some contact right after he threw the ball away, just judging by the gasp of the Florida A&M faithful on the far side of the field, but no flag on the play. Second down coming up.
Smart play by Richardson. As you see, he threw that ball up into the second row. If there's nothing there, make sure nobody can catch it.
Now the big question is, did the person in the second row catch it?
That's the only question there. Nobody in the field of play had a chance at that one.
Absolutely not. Second down now coming up. Florida A&M with trips to the top side. Richardson, all sorts of time. He's going to throw it deep, and he's got Jabari Gaston at the 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Rattlers!
And the Rattlers go to their strength. Daniel Richardson can deliver the long ball. The Rattlers have stopped themselves from doing that, but what a beautiful throw, and Gassett turned on the gas.
53 yards on a scoring play from Richardson to Gassett, and Florida A&M has extended their lead.
And what a great show of improvement from offensive coordinator Brian Henry. I feel the Rattlers last week beat themselves at Jackson State because they didn't do that. They stopped themselves from going deep and played into the hands of Jackson State.
Gassett got by West and just wide open down that sideline. Of course, he had the space and opportunity in front of him, and no one's going to catch him when he's got those opportunities.
And
extra point up and good.
And we've seen a switch up in the offensive line. Richardson had plenty of time on those last two plays.
Florida A&M leads 14-3. We'll be right back with more SWAC football on ESPN.
It was the receivers, the deep ball. Nobody can cover Jamari Gassett today. Let's see if the Jaguars can answer. And that's a fumble on that kickoff return. Dangerous. He picks it back up. And the Rattlers corral him right about the 31-yard line. That was dangerous. It almost looked like he kicked the ball. Referee is stopping the play. But the Rattlers went back to their strength, which was the passing game. Daniel Richardson can deliver the ball deep, and he does it. Jamari Gassett took it from there. Let's see if the Jaguars can go back to their strength of Dylan and Rhymes and just pound it down between the tackles on the Rattlers.
You mentioned Gassett. Right now, 5 receptions, 118 yards, and a touchdown on the receiving side. And, of course, he has the other touchdown with the punt return, as you see him right there on the screen, rocking the chain.
Well, Gassett is an energy guy. You see him dancing, that means he's in his happy place. He loves to dance at the drop of a dime. So Jamari Gassett having a career game today.
Gassett came into today's game with 408 receiving yards and 3 receiving touchdowns. Here's Southern University starting first down and 10 and rolling with, surprise, the rushing attack right up the middle. They'll get it over to Kendrick Rhymes. Rhymes picks up about 2 on the play. Second down coming up for the Jags.
And the Rattler defense with a 4-man front were able to corral that play. Has been a problem all season for the Rattlers to stop the run offense.
Southern now with second down. Twins to the top, twins to the bottom. And here's a deep throw, and it is well off the mark, incomplete.
Not the strength of the team.
Darren Morris, the intended wide receiver on the play. He did have a step on the FAMU receiver. However, Biden was just not on the money with that pass. But as you mentioned the last time, if he throws it inside, 9 times out of 10, it probably sets his wide receiver up to probably make a better catch.
And get the ball. That's the second time we've seen him throw it on the backside, which a receiver at that speed is not able to stop and turn around and adjust. But if it's in front of him, he has an opportunity to catch that ball and beat the defensive back that was trailing him at the time.
Third down for Noah Biden and the Southern University offense. Biden is going to throw a dangerous pass, and it is broken up by number 21 on the play. Jerome Nichols coming up with the battle A transfer from Michigan. And once again, Southern University going 3 and out.
Not the strength of this team as we've seen. They drop back to throw a pass. Rattlers in a pass rush, but decent protection, but just not an accurate throw. High, and with 2 defensive backs in the area, you don't want to throw a ball high anyway. They feast on that, and it leads to a punt for the Jaguars. And who's back to receive it but number 2, Jamari Gassett.
Clean punt for Southern University. Gassett back deep.
Nice punt, turns over.
And they're going to let it bounce, and actually it's going to be fielded by Florida A&M.
Gassett went away from it, and it appeared that it was going to go farther inside the 20.
Looks like Robert Lockhart decided to get his hands on the ball on a 45-yard punt. Of course, you know, Lockhart is one of those guys that Coach Cozy told us about. If we can get the ball in his hands at any shape and time of the day, he's a speedster as well. However, the punt return was not set up for him to go down the sideline
And
and make a play.
I see Coach A.C. Carter down there. He's explaining to him that maybe not to pick up that ball in a nice coach's way, you know.
Oh, absolutely. You know, nice to players, current and former like you and I, but maybe not so nice to the general public. Here's Florida A&M on a first down run, and a great run right there by Kelvin Dean, and Dean's going to move those chains following a solid run for the Florida A&M Rattlers.
Great run for Dean. Again, the Celebration Bowl offensive MVP takes it around the left side and refuses to go down, breaks 2 tackles, and gets a first down for the Rattlers out to the 30-yard line.
So first down and 10 for Daniel Richardson and his Florida A&M offense. Rattlers on top by 11 over Southern University, 14-3. Jabari Gassett with both touchdowns for Florida A&M. Here is another rushing play here, and it's Dean, and Dean's going to pick up another first down for Florida A&M.
And the Rattlers are using the space that they opened up with the pass and coming behind it with the running plays.
16-yard gain on the play by Dean, and Dean has the ball gets the ball near the midfield stripe for Florida A&M.
Tough situation for the Jaguars on the defense because they've been so successful with the deep ball. There's a pad there off of the receivers, leaving the opportunity for Dean to make these first down runs.
Here's Richardson in the shotgun, stepping back to pass. And Richardson, he's going to dump it on the crossing pattern. That's Marquez Bell. Bell picks up about 3 yards on the play. Second down coming up.
And this type of play is right up Daniel Richardson's alley. You can see a different pep at his step. He is a distributor of the ball. He knows he has playmakers, and the key for him is to maintain a rhythm downfield. And FAMU is mixing up the pass and the runs on this drive better than they have possibly all season.
Second down coming up for Daniel Richardson and this offense. And Richardson is going to hand it off once again to Dean. Dean's going to pick up 5 yards. It sets up third and manageable for the Rattlers, but they have crossed over the 50-yard line, officially in Southern University territory.
Rattlers with a sustained drive, looking to add to their lead here in the third quarter. Critical SWAT game right here at Ken Riley Field.
Dean came into today's game with only 150 rushing yards throughout the season. Of course, Florida A&M's bread and butter has been the passing attack, but Coach Cozy and Coach Henry told me they want to run the ball and be successful at it as well. Here's Richardson under pressure, and he cannot get away, and he will be sacked by Kelvin Gibbons, the SWAC preseason defensive player of the year. They'll bring up fourth down for the Rattlers. Loss of 4 on the sack.
Loss of 4 and a great play by the Jaguar defense. The receivers were covered. Richardson was looking downfield for an open receiver. No one was open. By the time he decided to take a step and try to avoid the traffic, he was down for a loss, leading to a 4th down and 9. And Gunnar Trout will try to pin the Jaguars deep.
Call that one of those coverage sacks right there for Southern University. Here's Gunnar Trout with a high booming punt. And Southern will be down inside the 5-yard line.
And Trout is happy about that punt. He should be. That's down to the 4-yard line. And Coach Cozy showing him how happy. Great job of special teams to pin the Jaguars deep. See if the defense can figure a way to keep them down there.
Here's Biden with the handoff, and it'll be Kobe Dillon, the first man through. Picks up maybe about 2 on the play. Second down coming up for the Jaguars.
The Jaguars want to continue to keep themselves in position where they can stay on their strength, which is running. 3 great running backs in the backfield. They just don't want to get in situations where it's too long and they're forced to pass. They did get a little space out of the end zone backed up onto the 4-yard line.
Second down coming up for Southern. Here's another handoff, and it'll be Dillon once again going up the middle, cutting back a little bit, and picks up positive yards once again, make it third and manageable for the Jags, and definitely gets them out of the shadow of their own end zone.
There's something about when you backed up against the end zone, it's like you feel something right behind you. So now they have some breathing room, a manageable third down. This is a critical juncture. You don't want to let the Rattlers get too much momentum of a punt that'll keep them on the plus side of the field.
Third down now for Southern University. And here's a throw to the outside, and it is off the mark, off the hands of Tyler Kirkwood. And once again, Southern University 3 and out and forced to punt.
I don't know if that was a run pass option, but the running back, he faked it too, just ran straight up the middle. So he definitely would have gotten a first down up the middle. Chose to pull it out and pass it. Maybe it was a design pass. I don't know. But the Jaguars are forced to punt out of their own end zone too. Who else but Jamari Gassett?
Jamari Gassett standing around the midfield stripe, right in the middle of the Rattler logo. Here's the punt. Good booming punt.
Great turnover punt. Beautiful.
And then
punt.
a great tackle in the open field by the Jaguars right there. That is number 87 for Southern University, Cam Jefferson, coming up with the tackle on Gassett. So 51.
That punt was a great effort by the Jaguars to kind of flip the field a little bit because they were way deep in their own territory. Excuse me.
Kenny,
and that's two great punts in a row.
Yep.
FAMU's Trout down to the 40-yard line, and then another punt to give the Jaguars some breathing room.
51-yard punt by Kenny Pham on that one. Jefferson making a great tackle on Gassett. So here comes Daniel Richardson and the Florida A&M offense. Richardson hands it off to Dean. Dean gets into the defensive backfield. Oh, but he slips around the midfield stripe. Maybe,
You call it slip, I call it duck.
10-yard gain on the play.
I call that self-preservation. That linebacker was bearing down. That was a very smart play by Kelvin Dean Jr.
But the change will move on the play. He picks up a first down. Picks up one more yard beyond his jersey number on that one. So first down and 10, ball resting near the midfield stripe. Here's a quick swing out pass. And ball is caught, and another first down is coming up for Florida A&M, this time by way of Jeremiah Pruitt coming up with the catch, the elusiveness, and then the first down.
Pruitt is a weapon that everyone was wondering why the Rattlers weren't using more this year. This game, Jeremiah Pruitt has shown why he's a great player, and he should be distributed the ball. Very effective today for Daniel Richardson.
Florida A&M once again with first down and 10, this time in Jaguar territory. Kelvin Dean gets the ball in the flats, and he is going nowhere on that play. Actually, a tackle for loss by Williams of Southern University to bring up second and long.
Great pressure from the defense coming from the outside. Foiled that play, forced Richardson to get rid of it quicker than he needed to, while Dean was covered on the outside. The result, a loss of 2 yards, 2.5, almost 3 yards, with a great defensive charge by the Jaguars.
Second down, we'll call it 12 for Florida A&M. 6 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the third quarter. Rattlers on top of the Jaguars, 14-3. Here's Richardson stepping up. He's going to call his own number, and he'll pick up a few positive yards on the play to make it third and manageable for his squad.
Great defense by the defensive backs of the Jaguars. There was no space. There was no space for when Richardson decided to get away. Defensive backs were covering the wide receivers, which allowed Williams to come up and make the tackle.
Williams and Richardson have met each other a number of times tonight. Third down and 8 for Daniel Richardson and the Florida A&M offense. Here's the snap. Richardson with all sorts of time, and he's going to sling it out, and the ball is caught once again by Ace Cobb. Haven't heard his name too much since the first quarter, but Cobb will pick up enough yardage for another Rattlers first down.
Now, that was a big boy catch. He caught the ball and refused to go down and carry the defensive backs, possibly, if you look back at it, about 5 yards. Ace Cobb comes out to the left side. Richardson drops back to hit him, and Cobb does the rest.
16-yard completion on the play. Here's Richardson throwing across the middle, and it'll be intercepted by the Jaguars. And out in front for Southern University is Jamarius Brown, and Brown still on his feet. Brown at the 50-yard line, and he's got the ball all the way back into Florida A&M territory.
Big mistake by Daniel Richardson. As we said on the pass that the Jaguars threw into the end zone, no reason to stop a big drive like that. The receiver never was open. The defensive back was always between Richardson and him. So just an ill-advised bad throw by Daniel Richardson. Great interception and even better return by the Jaguars.
53-yard interception return by Jamarius Brown, the senior safety from Mobile, Alabama. So right down I-10. Pretty sure he's got some family members in the stands tonight watching him play. And now Southern with some of their best starting field position of the entire evening.
And they go back to their bread and butter. That energy comes in once you get a play like that. And the Jaguars go back to their running game, and
that's C.J. Russell.
Really close. We'll have to see where the
holding offense.
Well, they're going to go back on that one due to holding on the offense. Replay first down coming up.
Very, very unfortunate. Well, maybe that's why he got outside. But the Jaguars return to their strength, the running game, Rattler defense. Maybe that's why they couldn't get to him on the edge, because someone was being held.
Now, Vaughn, can you just talk about how much that interception brings a new version of energy to the Jaguar football team, who seem to kind of be down, especially with Florida A&M in scoring position?
Nothing has gone right as of late for the Jaguars. They've only been able to muster a field goal in the first quarter. So any spark, when you're in enemy territory, when you're a visiting team, you need a spark. And the Jaguars are looking for one, and that run around edge will get about 3 yards. The Jaguars, with the interception, that might have been the spark that helped their team, but they come right back and get a penalty. So it kind of diminishes the energy that you have as a team.
Absolutely. And in on that play right there was Zay T-Set, young man who has started the game earlier on in the year. He's from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, by way of Scotlandville High School, right across the tracks from the Southern University campus. He started the game against Jackson State, but left due to an injury. And T-Set tries to throw it out in the flat. However, his pass falls incomplete. It'll bring up third down now for the Jaguars.
And forcing the Jaguars into style of play that is not quite their strength, into the obvious passing situation. Or they might run to try to get closer to make a punt to back the Rattlers up in their own territory.
Third down, and we'll call it 17 for the Jaguars.
Third down in Leon County.
The Rattler fans bringing some noise. Here's T-Set calling his own number, breaks 3 tackles, gets out of bounds.
And there's going to be a penalty after that. It may be a late hit out of bounds.
Absolutely.
It was very close.
As a matter of fact, T-Set was knocked into the offensive line coach, Damian Nivens.
That will be a critical error for the Rattlers if that is the case.
He picked up a gain of 13 on the play, but let's see what this flag is going to be for.
We'll definitely have to wait and see, because we can't tell. Quite a bunch of people around the play as it went out of bounds.
The officials are all huddled up. Coach Terrence Gray is right there. Let's get
There's no foul on the play. Fourth down.
And no foul will be called on the play, so fourth down coming up for the Jaguars. Let's take another look at this, Vaughn.
Yeah, there's nothing there.
No.
The play he was hit in bounds. It's close, but
I'll say this: if the hit happens one more step later, then it's an easy flag to call.
Right, absolutely.
So fourth down, and we'll call it 4. Southern University with the ball in Florida A&M territory, looking to keep the drive going. 3:38 to go in the third quarter. Here's T-Set, stepping back to pass, and the pass is caught at the 30-yard line.
And he took a beating on that pass.
Tyler Kirkwood coming up with an amazing grab to keep the drive alive for the Jaguars. Gain of 12 on the play.
And T-Set stayed in there and delivered that ball under serious duress. He took a big hit after delivering the ball, but it stayed in long enough to hit it.
T-Set now with the handoff for the Jaguars. Looks about a 3-yard gain on the play. Second down will be coming up for Southern University as we approach the 3-minute mark in the third quarter. That was C.J. Russell on the last.
Number 8, Corey Russell on the carry.
Last rushing attempt.
Jaguars have some options here. They can run it, or the short pass has been successful for them. They've run it.
And they decide to run it. C.J. Russell picks up short yardage on the play and bring it up third in what Southern has basically been calling manageable throughout this entire evening now.
And I would say the Jaguars are already in field goal range. It's just a matter if they go for it or consider this 4-down territory.
Now on the day, Joshua Griffin, the Southern University place kicker, he is 1 of 2 on the day. Nailed a 50-yarder, but missed on a field goal that was closer. Here's T-Set. Play action pass. T-Set running out of time, and T-Set's going to go down for a huge sack on the play.
And a big loss, making it 4th down and about 9 yards. Rattler defense, James Ash made his way up the middle.
Loss of 5 yards following the stack by James Ash to transfer from Wake Forest. But he's a Floridian by way of Tampa. So 4th and 9 coming up, and here comes a field goal attempt once again by Josh Grisham. He has made one. He has missed one.
He made a 50, missed a 45. This is 46. Week in Jackson when they lost, they were leading going into the 4th quarter and were not able to hold on to it. See if they have a different outcome today. Richardson is on the run. He'll get the first down, and he's
some
held
more.
up.
Richardson be knocked down around the 40-yard line. Let's take another look at that play right there. Richardson also kind of holding his arm a little bit. I've noticed that.
It does look like it that he's. But you know, football players,
just play through pain.
He's gonna hide it from the coach and try to stay in the game. But yeah, that is something that we need to keep an eye on because that right arm is his biggest weapon.
Richardson, 19 of 25 for 209 yards with a touchdown and an interception entering the 4th quarter. His favorite receiver.
And the play clock is running now, down to 3. See if they can get it off, and they do.
And here is an end around, and it gets in the hands of Gassett, and Gassett is going nowhere. The Southern University defense snuffs that out quick, fast, and in a hurry. On the tackle right there, number 4, Elijah West for Southern University.
Great job by the defense of keeping the play inside. They turned it back inside, back to the help. Play was a long time developing. That play just took too long. You can't keep a team at bay that long. So that play was really a little bit too long, and Southern was able to capitalize on it, turn it back inside, and get a loss.
Second and what we'll call 11 for the Florida A&M Rattlers. Ball resting just outside the Southern University 40-yard line. Here's Richardson, slings it over to the far side of the field. Marquez Bell makes the catch. However, he is tackled quickly by number 3, Xavier Spencer on the play.
Spencer with an amazing tackle because there was plenty of room if he didn't make that tackle. Great open field tackle. Anytime you have a shifty guy to catch a ball like that, it is critical that you get him on the ground, and that was a great tackle.
Third down coming up for Florida A&M. There you see head coach Terrence Graves of Southern in his first year as a head coach, but longtime assistant coach at Southern, Mississippi Valley, and Grambling State University, just to name a few. Here's Richardson, back to pass. He's under pressure, gets out of the clutches of a Southern University defender, and then fires a laser. And pending on the spot, it could be a first down for Florida A&M.
That is a great extension of the play by Richardson. A spin to the left and keeps his eyes downfield and throws a laser in. And the Rattlers will be awarded a first down.
Marquez Bell, the receiver on the play.
Bell did a good job of making himself visible to Richardson. When your quarterback is scrambling, you have to make yourself visible to him.
And I mean, Richardson really just showed his strength right there too, because he was in the clutches of not one but two Jaguar defenders and was able to get out of it and then take off and throw it to get a first down and extend this drive. Here's Richardson on the play action, and there's some
Holding,
flags on the play.
definitely holding.
He's just going to just throw it up and out of the back of the end zone. Ball falls incomplete, but we will check the penalty.
Definitely going to be holding. The area that every flag on the field is definitely going to be a holding call. When a quarterback rolls out at times, if you're not expecting it, and you're an offensive lineman, and you see your guy starting to turn, it's an automatic reaction. You grab him. And so here we expect there to be a holding call, unless there's something else, a hand.
Ineligible receiver downfield, number 55. That penalty is declined. Holding, offense, number 61. That penalty will be accepted. 10-yard penalty, first down.
So holding is the call on Jalen Goss.
Yeah, when you see three flags going in the same area, right behind the center, you know it's holding. It's not rocket science.
Goss coming into today's game, 6'7", 290 pounds.
Rattlers may be right at or above their average penalties. Their average 67.67 penalty yards per game. That was a critical one there, and it backs them up. First down, though, so it's first down and about 20.
Rattlers still with the ball inside of Jaguar territory. Here's the pitch out to Dean, and Dean is going nowhere on the play. A loss of about 2 on the play. Second down and even longer coming up for Florida A&M.
I don't quite understand that play. FAMU's been so successful with the short passes, mid-range passes, and long passes. To call a sweep on that play is one of the plays that makes you wonder if the coaches saw something that you didn't.
And a 9 times out of 10, that probably happened. It just so happened that Southern probably made the quickest adjustment they could.
Yes.
Or they did well in film study.
Well,
here comes second down for Florida A&M. A pass is complete. And Dean makes a second man miss before being hauled down around the 34-yard line.
It's funny you mentioned film study because FAMU and Southern have a history of difficulties exchanging films, which was one of the reasons the rivalry stopped. That we were talking about that earlier.
We were.
There's a long history of that.
Absolutely. I don't want to go too far into
detail
because, if I were to tell the story, I want to make sure that all the facts are right. Look, I'm a journalist on my regular 9 to 5, and it's always about telling the true parts of the story. I can only tell you the portion from the Southern University side and being a former player. Here comes third down. We'll call this 15 for Florida A&M. Daniel Richardson still in the shotgun. He's under pressure, gets away, throws the ball deep down the field, and ball falls incomplete. Intended wide receiver on the play was number 13 for Florida A&M. That was Goldie Lawrence, but there is a flag on the play.
Is that a roughing the penalty? Because the Rattlers seem to be walking down the field. Roughing the passer, is it?
Personal foul. Hands to the face. Defense, number 94. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Davin Cotton, the senior defensive tackle for Shreveport, Louisiana, called for hands to the face, and that'll give Florida A&M the first down deep inside of Southern University territory.
Critical error at this juncture. Can't quite see it there, but obviously 2 officials threw flags, so they saw it. But critical error for the Jaguars as the Rattlers are in the process. They were behind the sticks, and now they have a 1st and 10 in the red zone.
And we just saw Coach Henry Miller, the defensive coordinator for Southern University, just shaking his head at Cotton like, man, you did not have to do that. Now look at our situation. Here's Richardson slinging it to the sideline, and the pass is caught.
Pass is completion, number 6, Kobe Goff.
Kobe Goss coming up with the catch. Second down coming up.
One of 3 great tight ends the Rattlers have. Very sure-handed. They run like wide receivers. Richardson loves going to his tight ends. They are a strength of this Rattler team. driving down toward the Gallimore Powell Fieldhouse.
Second down coming up for Florida A&M. Here's Richardson, and the ball is almost intercepted near the goal line.
Jamari Gassett was running absolutely free on a post route. Richardson just missed him. He was running absolutely free on the post route.
Rodney Johnson dropped the interception at the goal line. Oh, how much of a game changer that play would have been if he was able to make that interception. We always saw what happened when they made another interception in the end zone.
Well, that's why they say defensive backs play defensive back, because they just don't have the greatest hands. That ball was right in his hands. He should have had it and been heading the other way, but it's a drop, and the Rattlers still have the ball with third down.
Florida A&M gets another chance following that dropped interception. And here's Richardson slinging it over, and it'll be a touchdown for Florida A&M.
Kelvin Dean Jr.
Kelvin Dean walking in the end zone on a 16-yard score. We talk about the drop interception. Look what happens on the next play.
It's a 12-point turnaround. Great play by the Rattlers. That is to the strength of Kelvin Dean. Why I challenge the sweep. This is in his wheelhouse. Get him the ball in space and he can make people miss. That is his MO. Rattlers take a 20-6 lead late in the fourth quarter.
Richardson now 24 of 31 for 246 yards with 2 TDs and 1 INT.
We've been looking for stats all season that emulate that for Richardson. We've been looking for the Rattler offense to return to the potential.
After the play is over,
last year.
unsportsmanlike conduct on the scoring team. He removed his helmet. It's going to be a 15-yard penalty.
And that's a critical error. That is an unforced.
That foul will be enforced on the kickoff.
That's what I was about to ask. Would it be enforced on a kickoff or on the extra point?
It's on the kickoff, and that is a critical unforced error. You just cannot make ridiculous, unnecessary mistakes like that right after a touchdown to make that error.
Cameron Gillis coming on for the extra point attempt for Florida A&M. Kick is up, and it is good. So with 9:14 to go in the fourth quarter, your new score, Florida A&M 21, Southern University 6. More SWAC football is coming up next. On today keeps them in the race for the SWAC East championship, because if they were to win their next 2 games, that would set up a first place on the line scenario against Jackson State on November the 16th in Montgomery, Alabama. So once again, lots of football still left to be played. And also, if Alabama State happens to get that victory, Florida A&M's back into the mix too for the East Division.
Absolutely. Still a lot of football to be played. The Rattlers have been a little spoiled over the last several years, not losing at all in the SWAC. But the reality of football is that you have to take the losses and rebound. It looks like the Rattlers are making the best of it so far.
50-yard line. First down.
And that kick out of bounds will net the Jaguars the ball at the 50-yard line. Normally, it would go out to the 35-yard line, but because of the ridiculous penalty at the end of the play, you add 15 yards onto it, and the Jaguars start out in immaculate field position at the 50-yard line.
Zay T-Set back on the field in at the quarterback position. Here's Southern University's last 10 drives. 2 field goals, 1 missed field goal, 6 punts, 1 interception.
That's not going to get it done.
Here's Zay T-Set with the handoff up the middle.
And we talk about the adjustments the Rattlers made on offense, playing an offense that goes more towards Daniel Richardson's strengths. We have to give Milton Patterson and the defense some credit too, because they have not allowed the big runs by the Jaguars. Those running backs normally break big, long runs, and we have not seen it happen so far.
Kendrick Grimes on the last run. Here comes second down. T-Set stepping back to pass, and he's going to throw it deep. And he had a man who had a step. However, they could not connect. Third down coming up for the Jaguars.
Just a little too far. Just a little too far. You see T-Set drop back, and he sees something over the middle. His man has the defensive back beat. Deco Wilson falls. All they need is the ball delivered to him, and it could have been a big play, but the ball was just a little long, and they were already on third down.
Cam Jefferson did have a step on the Florida A&M defensive back. Instead, it brings up 3rd down and 7. Zay T-Set back in at quarterback once again for Southern University.
Oh.
And he is going to be sacked. No time for T-Set as the Florida A&M defense sack him for a huge loss on the play. Leading the way for Florida A&M was Antonio Cammon.
What a bull rush inside of the left tackle. Foster just could not contain him. And starting at the 50-yard line to back up 5 yards in 3 plays is not what Coach Graves drew up.
Another punting situation coming up. Here's the punt. It's a high one. Gassett will field it around the 25-yard line. So we'll take a break, and when we return, Florida A&M will have it 1st down and 10 here on ESPN. Here's Florida A&M. Going back to the rushing attack, and you figure that now they're going to try to wind down this clock as Somerset picks up positive yards on the play.
Yep, about 7.5 minutes remaining in the game, and the Rattlers would like to continue to control this game. They are ahead by more than 2 scores, so the goal now is to control the block, control the ball, control the clock, and win the game.
2nd down coming up for Daniel Richardson and this Florida A&M Rattlers offense. Of course, this is one of 2 primetime games taking place across the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Somerset gets the handoff right up the gut, runs it to Derek Williams, and Williams will take him down after about a gain of 2.
And that'll bring up 3rd and 2 for the Rattlers. Then it'll see what the Rattlers can do to grab this 2 yards. As a matter of fact, they moved the marker back, so you're correct. It is back to 3rd and 3 yards. And the Rattlers will try to gain 3 yards to sustain this drive. Southern University defense with 4 down linemen, will certainly be peeking in on the Rattlers to try to keep them from gaining the 3 yards and extending this drive and running more time off of the clock.
3rd down for the Rattlers, and Richardson hands it off to Somerset, and Somerset's going to get very close to that 1st down
The
marker.
referee is walking right down the line, and he has given the signal for a 1st down. And that allows the Rattlers to continue to run the clock down with 6 minutes and 12 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter.
So those chains will move, and Florida A&M now with another 1st down. They're wearing down the Southern University defense.
Yes, it does seem like the defense has been on the field a long time today, even though the Rattlers have been passing. The 3 and outs by the offense, they've only got 113 yards on 33 carries. The longest run today has been 13 yards and only 4 of 10 or more yards. So the Jaguars, atypical of their strong running game today. Rattlers had a good defensive plan, but the Jaguars have not maintained even their season average on the ground.
On the play, another running play by Somerset.
Number 20,
and now subbing in for Somerset will be the guy who we have been seeing majority of the year, Thad Franklin, giving him a breather.
Franklin has emerged as the leading running back for the Rattlers. He's got great size. He doesn't go down on the first tackle, and he's also able to run between the line. But be interesting to call here as the Rattlers continue to try to run this clock down, already about a minute and a half into this drive.
Thad Franklin breaks not 1, not 2, but 3 tackles before picking up about 9 yards on the play.
And looks like 2 Jaguars are down, at least 1 slow to get up. And I think he is down. Referees will call time to get the player removed.
The injured Jaguar on the play is Darius Harry, 6'2", 245-pound defensive end from New Orleans, Louisiana. He's a transfer from Southeastern, but Harry was able to get up under his own power and get over to the sideline. FAMU on tonight, 115 rushing yards. They're only averaging about 88 per game, so well above their average tonight.
And still 7 games into the season without a rushing touchdown.
Here's Richardson, the play action pass, and it is caught by guess who? Well, I was about to say Gassett, but it's actually caught by
Ace Cobb.
Another young man who has been coming into his own as a mature receiver. 28-yard gain on the play. Florida A&M now in Southern University territory.
And Richardson threw that right in stride, allowing him to get the extra yards after the catch. Great throw right in the wheelhouse of Daniel Richardson. Ace Cobb brings it in, and that's another big first down for the Rattlers as we're now under 4 minutes. Drive is continuing to gain yards. This is the best case scenario for the Rattlers to continue to run the clock down, continue to progress. Scoring again right now is of no importance to the Rattlers if they can continue to run the clock down.
Under 4 minutes to go for Florida A&M. They hand it off to Thad Franklin. Franklin into the defensive backfield, and he is beyond the 20-yard line into the red zone for Florida A&M.
Well, we talked about Coach Henry changing up his personnel on the offensive line. Tonight has been one of the most productive nights for the Rattlers all season. Franklin has been given clear holes to get through the line into the second level, and he's made the best of it, making the first man miss. And the Rattlers have one of their best rushing performances this entire season, and Richardson has been comfortable in the pocket.
Under 3 minutes to go, Florida A&M in full control of this game, up 21-6. If this score holds, Florida A&M will be 2-1 on the season in SWAC play. Just a game behind Jackson State, who they lost to last week on the road. And by far one of the best games I've seen in the SWAC this entire season.
That was a great game. It was
Southern.
a battle that came
First charge timeout.
Cassette 5 receptions, 118 yards, 1 receiving touchdown. And, of course, he had a 44-yard punt return for a touchdown. Gillis, here's a 35-yard attempt. It is up, and it is good. Florida A&M extends their lead to 18, making it 24-6 with 1:55 to go here in the fourth quarter.
That drive took, I don't know exactly, but it looks like that drive took about 6 minutes off of the clock. That's a great drive to end it on a field goal. You don't lose any ground, and you take opportunities away from Southern University to have the ball and score. So that was a great and important drive that the Rattlers just had.
Barring nothing crazy in Florida A&M goes on to a victory. It's definitely a great way for you to say that they are able to bounce back after the crushing defeat that happened last week in Jackson.
And there's a saying on the campus that they don't lose and brag, and they haven't done so in a very, very long time, going back to the time of Willie Simmons as the head coach.
2018 was the last time. As a matter of fact, they have the second longest win streak at home of all of FCS football, only trailing South Dakota State University, which, of course, you follow FCS football, that's a pretty good football team.
Yeah, the dons of FCS football is about all you can call them.
The Jackrabbits.
Jackrabbits.
They had a tough one the other week against North Dakota State.
Well, those two, this North Dakota and South Dakota State, boy, they just face mask. Did it get called? I don't know if they called it, but I certainly saw the head turn around.
Looking for a flag. Don't see one.
No flag. I don't see a flag.
No. Well, hold on. No, there is a flag. There's a flag.
Okay.
Right there under one of the guys' feet.
Personal foul. Face mask.
Yeah, I saw that.
15-yard penalty from the
as
end
far
of the run.
across the field as that is, I saw it.
So 15 yards be tacked on to the end of the run for Southern University. They'll have the ball 1st and 10 with 1:48 to go. Coach Terrence Graves and company will try to regroup and head to the Rocket City next week to take on Alabama A&M.
Well, for the Rattlers, you see a lot of low numbers in the game. So they'll be playing a defense that will be allowing some yards on the run, but I see 7 defensive backs in the game for Florida A&M. So some kind of pass defending defense will probably give up yards on rushes.
Here's a T-set. He's going to go with the handoff right up the gut. And that'll be Kobe Dillon picking up positive yards for Southern. Clock's going to continue to tick. And here's T-set. He's going to sling it, and the pass is caught on the sideline.
That'll stop the clock temporarily while they reset the yard markers.
The Travian Brown on the reception. Southern now in Florida A&M territory. Here's a handoff. Dillon takes the handoff, maybe a gain of a yard on the play.
Still plenty of football to be played. The SWAC East or West, it has not been decided. There is plenty of football to play, and so Coach Graves and the Jaguars need to just go back and regroup and get back to what made them the team they've been this year in the SWAC.
Here's T-Set stepping back to pass. He will throw it on the sideline, and ball's incomplete.
And the Rattlers with Cozy. Rattlers have to stay focused, not get distracted with homecoming. You know, there's a lot that goes on a HBCU campus for homecoming, so you have to guard the players against that to stay focused, because Texas Southern is coming here playing some of their best ball, and so they're not your typical homecoming opponent.
Correct. As a matter of fact, Texas Southern was leading Grambling earlier this evening, and as a matter of fact, the game just went final. Texas Southern beats Grambling 24-17. So the Tigers from Houston are going to roll into Bragg Memorial Stadium with a little momentum after knocking off the Tigers from North Louisiana. Here's T-Set. Ball slings out to the flats, and Kobe Dillon cannot make the catch in the flats. Incomplete. Fourth down coming up.
And just the receiver taking his eyes off of the ball before he brings it into his body. The pass was right there. He just took his eyes off of it and tried to run before he had it. But a great rebound for James Cozy III and his staff, the offensive coordinators and the defensive coordinator. Milton Patterson did a great job as defensive coordinator corralling these running backs from getting way below their average running. And the offense finally opened it up to Daniel Richardson's strength, which was his amazing receivers. And the game has resulted in a great offensive production for the Rattlers.
Here's T-Set slinging it to the sideline, and the pass is caught near the first down markers. Darren Morris coming up with the pass reception. Richardson, final numbers on the night, 25 of 32 for 274 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and 1 interception.
Great numbers on a bounce-back game for Richardson. You wonder how someone who's a part of a fall-apart game like they faced last week with Jackson will react. Well, they showed you.
Here's the inside handoff for the Jaguars, and that may be a 3-yard gain right there by Kobe Dillon. 30 seconds to go in regulation. 24-6 is your score.
And here from the highest of Seven Hills, under 20 seconds remaining in the game for the Jaguars.
Here's T-Set. He's got 10 seconds. He's going to throw it across the middle, and the pass is dropped by Kobe Dillon. And 5 seconds remaining on the clock, as the fans who are remaining in the stands continue to yell incomplete on passes dropped by the opposition.
Well, a lot of the fans that were in the stands are now on Perry Street behind the stadium grabbing chicken and fish.
Yeah, I parked over there, and, I noticed some of that, and I'm like, okay, you know what? If y'all still out here by the time I leave,
they will
definitely got to grab something.
They will be, with DJs and all.
Yeah, matter of fact, I'm parked right next to that dude who had his own microphone. He was on his own hype, man. Here's a pass across the middle. T-Set's pass falls incomplete, almost interception, and that should be the final play of the game.